my beautiful plant people, how are we today? Welcome back to the channel and back to PCM. For those of you who've never met me before, I am Sam from Plant Collector Melbourne, and today's video is quite an interesting one. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it because I wanted to play with the idea of some new videos, and this one has been requested by 3 people, and I thought to myself, would my peeps, would they actually enjoy this video? And the answer is, I'm not sure. But today we are doing a video that is less to do with PCM and more to do with Sam. So this video, we're going to be doing a repot of things that in the store that I just have noticed that need a repot. We'll chat a little bit about plants, but what we're actually going to do is we are going to be getting really personal. And for those of you that are interested in getting to know me, getting to know Sam, what is Sam? Who is Sam outside of PCM? To be honest, I don't think that there is a whole lot different. There are aspects of my life that I don't necessarily share a lot of, but I'm more than open to sharing. So this video is me and you and some bonding time while we repot, and I guess I'm just going to tell you some stories and things about me. And I hope that by sharing this, you guys feel closer to me, that you feel more connected to me, and that is the intention behind this video today. So before we get down into the nitty gritty, I thought I'll show you the plants that we're repotting today. There are 3 of them. So it is this guy, which is a philodendron gloriosum. Gloriosum, definitely one of my tried and true, one of the very first rare plants that I've ever gotten. It is in this disgusting PT mix that is literally hydrophobic, so I really need to take it out. But also it's starting to crawl and about to go off the pot. So get it out of this not so great mix and let it grow bigger and better. So there's this guy. And so I also picked up these Anthurium clarinervium from a grower, a supplier down south, and they're not looking so hot. And I have a feeling it's because, here, let me show you guys up close. These guys look like they are being over watered. You can see that there's like some paling. Actually, this one's not too bad, but it's not super dark. And then this guy, so here for contrast purposes, you've got like the darkness of that leaf, but then we've got these discolored leaves. And I have a feeling that it is a combination of overwatering. The pot is way too big. They've like double, tripled planted it, thinking that it would grow into it, but the peat moss is just way too dense. So yeah, we are definitely overwatering these guys. So I thought to myself, I'll get these, I'll separate them out, I'll get them out of this peat. I'm not a fan of this soil mix. So that is what we're doing today. We've just got 3. I was going to repot this, so 2 seconds. So this guy is one of my absolute favorite plants of the moment. I think it is definitely one of my favorites. It's been on the channel before, and it is Anthurium punctatum. Such a gorgeous pendant anthurium, one of my absolute favorite. I think this plant doesn't even get a lot of credit or get talked about, so here I am trying to blast it all on my social media because it is just such a stunning plant, and I think more people need to know about it. But it's got this new leaf. If we hide my face, can you see the mid vein? Oh my God, it's gonna be so good, and it's gonna be even bigger and better than this leaf right here. So I'm conflicted because I know that there's some really great roots in here and it's going mental, but because of this new leaf, I think I'm going to have to postpone potting it and changing it just because I want this leaf to go and grow beautifully and not be stressed out or disrupted. So I think I'm gonna have to leave this one for the repot, but I was thinking about it. Okay, let us get started. I got my stuff. I've got a bin here to put all of the soil. But yeah, what do you guys want to know about me? I'm an open book. I wish that I did like more of a Q&A style and I got questions that you guys could have ask me, but by all means, leave some questions down below and I will definitely get to those questions. What is the story of Sam while we repot? The story of Sam. So for those of you, you might not even know, but I am the youngest of 3 daughters. My background and heritage is Filipino. Dad is 3/4 Filipino and 1/4 Spanish. And they migrated here many years ago. I think it was like maybe in between 20 to 30 years ago. And then came here, had 3 daughters. I'm the youngest of 3. So for those of you that don't know, I am the youngest. I'm also a Capricorn. So for those of you that follow star signs, I am a big on star signs. Oh my goodness, there is so, oh my gosh, no wonder. There is so much soil and peat, and I just found fungus gnats. So this is going in the bin. And look, there are so little roots. That was definitely way too big of a pot for this guy. Is there rot? Yep, we got a bit of rot. So let's remove that. Now, I've shared on my channel before on how I ended up getting into plants, but for my new subscribers and new people on here, the reason why I got into plants was because of my beautiful grandmother, who was more of a green thumb, particularly for outdoor plants. And I remember one day, I think it was I looked it up, I think it was like 2016 or 2017, when she got me to help her out in the garden out the front of our old family house. And she was just like tending and sweeping. There was succulents, we had some trees out the front. She was just tending to them and she's like, do you want to help? I actually said probably not, but then she kind of guilt tripped me into it, so I ended up helping her. And then she actually encouraged me to bring some greenery inside. So I ended up getting one of the succulents from outside. So I had one of those classic IKEA rattan pots. So I put that, like a succulent in that, brought it inside, and my nan totally didn't do me any favors by telling me like they needed a lot of light and very little water. And I watered it heaps and killed it a few months later. So you could say that I wasn't gifted the green thumb to begin with, but then I was so persistent and I wanted to show Nan that I could totally be a green thumb just like her. And I bought some plants. I think it was my very first plant was that succulent, but it died. But the first plant that I bought with my own money when I was younger was a tenanthe, like a fishbone calathea. Well, they say calathea, but it ain't a calathea. And I also bought a Monstera deliciosa, and they were actually from my boys from Plant Runner when they had Fern, the truck. And they were in the city, and I had managed to buy that. I got the deliciosa from actually a nursery, and I got the tenanthe from Plant Runner. So those were my first plants. I wonder what you guys' first plants were. Now, I've just been like fiddling with this, trying to figure out how I'm going to separate it. Take a look at that. So I thought that they were separately planted, but I can see now that these guys are actually pups of the original plant. It is puppin'. So I'm just gonna separate this guy. Actually, there's a couple in here. Whoop, there it is. Yep, so these guys are gonna go into smaller ones. So I've got 1, 2, and I can see more here. There we go. How are we going? I think that is it. And what I'll do is I'll also get rid of these yellow leaves. So the little itty bitty babies, we could probably do it like, I have all different sized pots in here. So we might do that guy in there. This guy maybe similarly. Actually, you can go in here. And This guy is teeny, teeny, tiny. Teeny, teeny, teeny root. That one actually might go in sphagnum, but you can go in that. And you can go in a big pot. Maybe like that. Yeah. Cool. So I might even give you guys like some life updates as well. So for those of you that don't know, Jacob and I ended up buying a house together, our very first house, just a couple of months ago. I think that was maybe about 3-4 months ago. Yes, 4 months. So we had settlement for 3 months, and then we've had the house for about a month and a bit. And so this house is everything that I could have ever asked for and more. It is just so homey and something that I could have only ever dreamed about. And so I'm very, very lucky and very excited that we get to live there and have a future and kids there. So I'm very excited. The really exciting thing for, I think, my planty peeps, my planty people, is that the backyard is not huge, but it has a lot of potential for a greenhouse. So I'm totally going to be taking you guys on this journey. It might be quite a long journey just because my original greenhouse is still at my parents' place, and that one is not so great. It's not the best greenhouse in my opinion in terms of like quality. Some of the panels have actually popped out and they're just not able to pop back in. It's lasted me many years. I think we set that up in like 2020 maybe. So it's been 3 years. It's done pretty well in terms of like weather-wise. The plants have always been really happy, but yeah, it's not the greatest. So there's that greenhouse at mom and dad's, and the plants are doing really well. They're doing good. So our actual home for me and Jacob's home, we're planning to actually build a greenhouse, but from scratch. So there's going to be a lot of design work. There's going to be lots of saving because of course it's going to be an investment. And Jacob definitely has such an eye in terms of design and aesthetic. He may not be great with actual execution, but he's definitely got the brain for it. So he's an engineer and I am like the creator and the fun one, if you will. So I think that I'll have a lot of fun in getting a look and design. He'll be more practical about it. It'll be really interesting in terms of misting and spraying and all of the irrigation. I'm really thinking about doing like a glass house on the side of the house. Maybe I'll have to get a video, but the outdoor part, there's this little pergola, and I will definitely take a video of this. And so there's like a pizza oven in there, and it's just really strange in terms of like the structure because it has shade cloth over it, and it's a really like green, vibrant shade cloth. So I'm not about that life, but I'd probably take those off. We might have to move that pizza oven out, and then there's like a space that we can create. So whether we keep the structure, like the framing or not, I'm not too sure. Jacob thinks that we should keep it, but I think that I would really love to just knock it all down or use some sort of material that is like clear. I thought I wanted a glass house, but my friends have been like, Sam, that's not very practical in terms of like hail and what if, I don't know, someone trips and all this other stuff. So in terms of safety, in terms of like expense, because glass will be really expensive and especially like thick glass. I've got lots of ideas. It's definitely like a later thing. I don't think that I will be building this new greenhouse for a while, just because I would really love to get it right. And the really cool thing about it is that in my room, so get this, I'm going to share with you guys something that is not very usual, and that is like me and Jacob sleep in separate rooms. And the reason is because Jacob snores and I can't sleep. And sleep is like one of my favorite things in this world besides food and plants. So I always need and love a good night's sleep. So him in the picture, I don't get some great sleep. But anyway, and also I'm also a furnace when I sleep and he just can't deal with it. So anyway, so when I say my room, we've got separate rooms. in my room, when you look out the window, the lower half, you can actually see where the greenhouse is going to be. And it is so exciting because I think once it's built, like I can wake up in the morning and just look into the window and see the greenhouse and all the plants. So, oh, it sounds like such a dream, and I'm really excited to start on that next journey. So not only do I have like the journey of the grow tent, which has been put on hold for a little bit. There's plants in there, and the plants are doing so much better now that they have like light and they're looking really great. So I'm very excited to start another journey. Not only did I have the greenhouse journey, the PCM store journey, the grow tent journey, lots of journeys, but I'm very, very excited about this one, particularly because I think that I do really want to go down the custom route. So there's a lot to do, a lot to play with, big investment, but I think it will definitely pay off because it would be such a dream. I'm really excited. Okay, and let's get some more of this. And as you guys know, tappy, 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 just so that it all settles in. Squish, 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 squish. Tap, 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 squish, 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 squish. Okay. That is a lot more suited to the size. And then these will go into the grow tent so that they can grow a little bit better. And maybe once they start to get some new leaves, they'll be for sale. What else is happening in Sam's life? So I don't know when this video is going to be up, but when I'm filming this, this is like the beginning of October. I've got some really exciting things coming up in my life where next week, so that will be the 10th of October, me, Jacob, and our friends are going to Japan. And I am so excited. There's about, how many of us? 2, 4, 6, 7. There's 7 of us going to Japan. It will be a very interesting trip because I think this might be one of the first trips where we're going with friends in a big group. So I've traveled with a lot of people. For my older sister's wedding that was in America, we had both sides come around, and that was like, what's that? 5 plus, how many of them? 5. So there was 10 of us all traveling together, and that was so much fun. Challenging in some respects, but overall like the best time. There was a lot of love. We love that family very, very much. But this time it's going to be of my friends, and these friends I've had for many years. They're all my like high school friends. Like one of them I've known since year 7. So how old were we? We were like 15, 16 years old. So very, very excited. Very long-term friends, and I love them to bits. So it should be really fun to travel with them. The really cool thing, or what I plan to do in Japan, is that I'm going to run around and of course do all of the touristy things. I've actually been to Japan before. So in high school, I studied Japanese from like year 7 to 11, and there was a study tour. So we ended up going to Japan, and that was really for the year 11s and 12s. But the cheeky thing was, I went when I was in year 11, so I think I was like 17-ish. Yeah, I think I was 17. Love Japan. I think it's one of my favorite places on this earth. Super beautiful. But I was quite young, and I was also traveling with school, so I feel like it was really different. And this time around, it's going to be like with my friends, and we can do whatever we like. And yeah, I think it's going to be a whole different vibe, but very, very exciting. What I'm really excited about is that Jacob has never gone to Japan before, and I would love to see his reaction, or his world and horizons, and seeing Japanese culture and see his reaction and what he thinks. And I hope he really enjoys Japan. It'll be fun to watch everyone and their experience. There's a lot of us going for the first time, maybe 2 of us have gone before, but for everyone else, it's their first time. So very, very exciting. What I'm going to do with you guys, and while I'm away in Japan for the 2 weeks, I'm hopefully going to find some plant shops and do some vlogging or do some videos so that it's like you guys are plant shopping with me. Sad thing is, we can't take any of them home. I can't take any of them, but I'm hoping that we find some really fun stuff, things that are not available in Australia. So from that one pot, we managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4 plants, which is awesome. And even just looking here, how many are here? Oh, there's a lot in here. There's like 2 main plants and then 2 teeny tiny pups. So cool. But yes, so we're going to Japan, which is going to be spectacular. I actually would have absolutely gone nuts if I could go see Kunzo. I haven't reached out to him, but maybe when I am in Japan, I might reach out and see. He's just recently done a YouTube video with Only Plants, Sean from Only Plants. I haven't watched it just yet, but I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. I would have loved to do something like that with him. But yes, we shall see, we shall see. Whoa, 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 whoa. So much soil, so much soil. And it's literally just like falling off because there's just so much of it in excess. Anyway, but this one doesn't look as root rotted as the other one, which is good. So yes, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I've got the beautiful Callum, Mon, and Colin looking after the store. So if you find yourself in Melbourne and wanting to look at plants, make sure to say hi to them for me. Or who knows, maybe this video is that I'm already back from Japan. Who knows? Wow, these roots, whoa. A little bit of root rot. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so let us separate these teeny tiny bubbas. And then I know we've got a teeny tiny, although that looks like we can't rip that off without it and I don't think it'll have any roots. Yep, let's keep that there. Keep that there. I mean, teeny tiny root. Okay, we shall just keep y'all together. So we've got 2 there, but this one has 2 teeny tiny pups. Hopefully y'all can see 2, and then this one has 1 teeny tiny pup. Cool. So I'll put these in maybe like this size. So yes, Japan is for 2 weeks and then I'll come back. I'll be in the store. Something so exciting that is happening is that we're getting some really cool plants the week that I get back. And then me and Leanne are going to Cairns for a week, which is going to be so exciting because Aroid Society Australia has organised Dr. Tom Croat to come to Australia, and he's doing this tour. So he will be in Queensland, Sydney, Melbourne. I'm not sure if he's going to WA or not, but all different cities of Australia, and he's originally from the US. And we've also got 2 other individuals, Mick Minty and M, and so they're coming down to Cairns when I go up. So I'm going to hopefully meet them. I'm very excited. I think that ASA has done such a great job, or Carrie from the Mellow Pot has done such an exceptional job at trying to link all of us together, particularly when it's internationally. I think there's something so special about plant lovers, and particularly these people that have such a plethora of knowledge to share and to be amongst other plant enthusiasts is going to be really something really special for the community. So very excited. I'll be going to Cairns for about a week. Leanne and I have some really cool things up our sleeve. I'll stuff it. I'll just tell y'all because it is a chat. It is just getting to know me, and we're just chatting. So the plan there is that we're going to see all of our friends, all of our growers and collectors alike. And what I would love to do with this channel is to show you guys the beautiful community that we have. And I want to show you guys the people that have been collecting for many, many years. And I know that there is actually a lot of you guys that are from international. So what is in Australia? What have we been collecting for the last like 50, 60 years? Their stories I would really love to capture, because I don't think that there's a lot of historically anything written to give thanks to these people that I think have pioneered our plant community and what plants that are in this country. So what we plan to do is hopefully get snapshots in time of some incredible collectors and share with you their collection and their knowledge and whatever else they wish to share. So that is the intention. I've got a couple of people in mind that I would love to get onto the channel. We've already filmed someone and we plan to film a couple more people in Melbourne, but hopefully we go interstate as well. So very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. What are my other hobbies? And yes, I in fact have other hobbies than plants. This shocks a lot of people. They're like, Sam, how do you even have like any more time to do anything other than like, because PCM definitely takes up a lot of my energy and time. I would never have it another way, but there's other interests and other things in my life that I think also deserve energy and time. And one of those things is just like, I love sport. I love giving things a go. It's to my own detriment where I want to try everything. So for example, like different sports that I played in the past. Actually growing up, I was definitely more a dancer. So I grew up doing dancing for several years. I did aerobics in high school and did even like competitions and won some state competitions, not even state, like Australia-wide aerobics competition. So if you're wondering if Sam can dance, I love me a good boogie. I'm Filipino, so you know that I love karaoke and singing and just having a really good time. I, sport-wise, have done volleyball. I enjoyed tennis, even though I'm pretty just like above average at tennis. I'm not really good at tennis. What else? What else would you guys want to know? Oh, I also did cheerleading in high school. So in Australia, I think cheerleading is not really that big. Yeah, back in the day, I used to do it. I used to be a flyer and I had so much fun. I think I got to like grade level 3 or 4. I can't remember, but good times, good times. I used to be able to flip and that was a really cool duration in my life and I can't do that anymore. Volleyball. I'm terrible at basketball, but can definitely shoot. So in the next couple of weeks, probably when I get back from all of my trips, is that I would really love to try boxing, just because I think that it is such a great way to kind of like release energy, to be fit, and it looks really fun. So I've seen a lot of people that I admire doing some boxing, and I think that it would be a really cool, I guess, thing to try. I love my yoga. I do meditation. What else? I feel like that's not very surprising, to be honest. When I was a kid, I loved drawing. Actually, I'm going to tell you guys a true story. Of course, this is a true story, but my like growing up and pathway, because, oh my gosh, like in hindsight, it's 2020 vision, right? So let me finish this and then I will. Okay, so growing up as a kid, little Sam loved art and drawing and painting and anything creative. I remember being like on computers and creating like DVD covers and books and writing and drawing and all these really creative things. And it's clear to me that my heart knew that I was supposed to go on more like a creative path in life. But for whatever reason, I guess you could say, like, whether that's my own pressures, society, and like schooling, that I guess like led me to believe, and I've said this story many, many times on YouTube and on Instagram, is that when I was growing up, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. And I think it was just one of those things where it's like, I love people, I want to help people, what would that be? And the easiest answer to me was being a doctor. And I thought I could do it. I studied really hard. In high school, I did all the subjects that would get me towards that goal. So that was really math, heavily science, like heavily science. I'm pretty sure like the subjects that I did in VCE, like graduating, was psychology, biology, chemistry, math methods, and what else did I do? And English language, because English and math were compulsory. And then everything else was science. And honestly, I was never that great at any of those subjects besides biology and psychology. Like, I think the psychology and the people really, I really loved. And then the biology, I don't know, I think I had a natural knack for it, and then I actually enjoyed it. But all the others, like chemistry, was the hardest thing in my life. Math methods, I just was not interested at all. I remember like skipping classes, and in high school, this is such a cheeky tale, but so in high school, I was school captain. And what I used to do, because your Sam is so cheeky, I would come late to classes and just say that I was at meetings. And yeah, your girl got away with quite a bit of that. But look, overall, what I'm trying to say is, and this could be like, if I could tell my younger self, is like, sure, do the subjects that you need to do. So like, I couldn't escape English and math, whatever. But then have a balance, or do the things that you love. Like, I think that if I could go back in time and did like food tech or viscom, art, textiles, anything like creative, I feel like I would have done way better in high school. And then I kept thinking to myself, like, why is this not working? So to get into med school in Australia, you have to sit the GAMSAT, which is a really big test, and it's a very like broad test, testing a very specific intelligence, if you will. And no matter how hard I studied, I would always just get around about the same result. And it was so infuriating at the time. So infuriating. It's like I would cry so much. And it was interesting because mum and dad, despite any cultural influence, despite that, they never pushed me into doing anything. They never even pushed me into a certain career or the subjects, or even when I used to get a grade back and it wasn't that great, they would just be like, all right, for next time. They weren't stereotypical in that they were strict and that I had to have the best grades of all time. So I just remember crying all the time, being like, why is this not working? Why is this not sticking? And only looking back, it's so obvious where they're like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that. I don't know your history, your stories, your career path, but for me, there was just so much friction in trying to become a doctor. And it was like life was telling me, hey, you're supposed to be doing something else. What are you doing? You're not doing things that you love or you're naturally good at. It's just one of those things where if I could go back in time, I totally should have gone more creative or had more of a balance. Yeah. So that is my story, my friends, and I guess like moving into PCM, and what you guys know now is that I remember finishing high school, and then I was working at a hospital at the time doing reception and admin. And I did that for a couple of years, and then I found my doctor work, like the doctor that I work for now. And that was always like a pathway, being like, okay, if I'm in a hospital and then I study med, I'll become a doctor. That was the vibe. But then several years after I graduated, still nothing was happening. I wanted to try ultrasound for a little bit, and then I studied it a little bit. It was interesting, but really difficult again, and my heart and soul wasn't into it. So I think after a year of trying to do my master's in ultrasound, and I could not get placement, like that was one of the criteria that you had to do. I remember having a conversation with Jacob, and we decided like to get the greenhouse. Like he totally prompted me. I remember mentioning to him like, what if I got a greenhouse? And he was like, yeah, you should. That'd be really cool. And so he actually helped me get that greenhouse. I think it was for like Christmas or my birthday, or maybe it was a combination of both. So he was actually the one that was nudging. Yeah, one of the best things about Jacob, that he's always really encouraged me into like doing things that I love. So we got the greenhouse, he helped me set it up. And then from there, I don't know if I've ever said this story to you guys actually. I don't think I did. So Jacob has a little brother named Tom, or Thomas. And Tom, during COVID, I think it was during COVID, or maybe a bit before COVID, started doing like painting and art. And he mentioned to Jacob, like, hey, how do I get like a website to sell this art? And they were talking about it, and I was kind of just in the background. And then the more that I listened, the more excited I got. And I was like, and Jacob was like, I can't remember, we were talking about Thomas at first, and then it suddenly changed to like me and plants. And he's like, you should do it. And then that's how the online store ended up coming around. And then after that, I think it was like a year-ish or a couple of months, maybe like between 6 and 12 months of being just purely online. Then the individual, Adam from Brunswick Nursery, where I used to be, offered me a space to open up PCM in Brunswick. And so I did that for about a year. And then the lease ended, and then I moved to Richmond, and it's been a year and a bit. So life is passing so fast, and I just seriously can't believe it. And when I think of myself of like the years that I thought I wanted to be a doctor, I'm like, there were so many signs of why I didn't become a doctor, or why I shouldn't have become a doctor. And it's not even that being a doctor is, I don't even know, like a bad thing, or like too much work, whatever it was, it's just not for me. And yeah, I wonder if any of you guys have ever felt that, like going into life and there's something that is so friction-full, and it's kind of the universe is telling you, are you sure you should be on this path, or let me redirect you. And well, that's how I feel on my journey, is that I was never supposed to become a doctor. And yeah, and now we've got the store, and PCM has all of its different branches, and it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't think I've ever shared that side of the story with y'all, with Instagram, with YouTube. These are some big noodles. There we go. Stay. So much soil. Tappy, 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 tappy. Go back in there. Let's get rid of this hydrophobic soil. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but there's a lot of this kind of soil in Melbourne, particularly in the, how do I put this? Not the proper nurseries. This is like, anyway. This stuff, if it completely dries out, is no good. Hopefully y'all don't have to relate to this, but if you've ever had this like really fluffy peat that goes hydrophobic, it's like, if this peat really dries out, this peat moss, it's like creates a barrier. And when you water the plant, it's like it waters the top, maybe the sides, because it will like leak through the sides, and then the base a little bit, if it's like sitting in water, but it won't water like the root ball and in the middle. It is the worst, it is the worst. So, hello, beautiful people. This is Future Sam, and unfortunately, the mic died while I had an individual come through the store, and by the time that I got back to film, it was dead, and I didn't realize. So here is Future Sam doing a voiceover, and I just wanted to do a little bit of a goodbye, an outro. Thank you so much to all the people that have stuck around to this long video. I had a couple of people come into the store like requesting long videos, said that you guys can have it in the background of when you're repotting or hanging out, but I listen. This is my long video, so please let me know. Let's chat down in the comments. Let me know if this is something that you guys would enjoy on a regular basis. Maybe like once a month we can do like a long video. Yeah, if you guys enjoy it, if there's anything else that you would love to see on the channel, please do let me know. But hopefully you got a little bit more of an insight to me, to my life, whether that's like outside of PCM or just getting to know me because you're new. So welcome to all my new people, and welcome back to all of the people that have continued to support me on the channel. I am very much glad for you all to be here and to connect with you all, and hopefully you feel a bit more of a connection with me. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.